Second Timothy 3:1. This know also that in the last days perilous times shall come. For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy. Alright, Shalom Akim. I want to give all praises to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Double honors to my apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to you brothers out there doing the work in truth and sincerity. Alright, this is verse 3. Without natural affection, truth breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despiser of those that are good, traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasures more than lovers of the Most High, having a form of godliness but denying the power thereof. For such a turn away. And that's how you know that we're in the last days, because these are the characteristics that you have a lot of guys that are displaying right now. All right, and that's what you have in America. You have a big melting pot, all right, of different philosophies, and it all stems back to worshiping your own belly. You know, feeling good about serving some type of god or pleasure here in America. And that's what you have. You have lovers of themselves, because they don't love the Most High. You have all these people running around in the Christian church. All right. You got our people in Islam, the Christian church, Buddha, all these different type of philosophies. All right. But at the end of the day, all right, they have a form of godliness. All right. But they really denying Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. They're denying all forms of power. All right, all forms of gods, if you want to say it like that, because they really don't worship the God that they serve, which they actually do. You know, they actually do, because that's the spirit that those demons want you to feed into. All right, they pretty much take you out of the truth, or never let you be able to understand the truth. The angel blocking that message. All right. And you got these guys right here are unthankful. All right, they're boasters, proud. All right, blasphemers. And this is to a lot of guys that come into GMS and they fall out. They fall out because these are the characteristics that they were displaying, and they can put on a act of sort until the Spirit leads them out of there. And these guys are just examples. That's how you know that we're in the last days. The last days, you will have men, all right, from all around the world that would display this. Perfect example, just get on the comment boards. All right, you got a bunch of men and women that have nothing else to do in their life, all right, but to sit on a keyboard and basically talk about brothers. They don't go into none of the doctrine. They don't fight back with scriptures. They don't debate their cause. All right. They're just proud. All right. They're disobedient. You got guys that come here and give double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone. All right. And then 2 weeks later, a month later, a year later, they talking all type of mad stuff. Blase this, you know. Oh, the elder did that. Oh, it's all they're in the witchcraft. They're making brothers go off. And just a week ago, you was giving double honors, man. These dudes are traitors, like the scriptures say. It says traitors are in verse 4. All right, verse 5. Having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof. From such turn away. And that's right. And that's what we do, man. We mark them, all right, with the scriptures, and we turn away, and we don't have no dealings with these guys. Because what would that do? That would just that evil spirit that they got was spread amongst brothers. And that's exactly what the evil spirit wants to happen. Because these guys are possessed with demons. These guys are actually possessed with demons. And their whole goal is to put demons on you. All right, verse 6. For of this sort are they which creep into houses and lead captive selling women, laden with sins, led away with diverse lusts. All right, these different philosophies, man. Because that's what it all comes down to is your own belly, your own lust. All right, because it makes you feel good. You don't want to come out and do the work of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai because, all right, you're going to suffer persecutions. All right, let me get a scripture. It's, you know what? It's actually in this verse. I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep going. It's gonna go into it. All right. All right. Ever learning and never able to come to the knowledge of the truth. Always asking questions. Well, I got a question. Oh, tell me how, you know, a 12-year-older can bear a child, you know, or tell me about the 12 tribe signs. How do you distinguish Gad and Reuben? How do you distinguish Benjamin and Levi? Ever learning, ever studying, ever going into different books, and never able to grasp the truth because they're not spiritual. The truth is all spiritual. You have to believe on this by faith. This is not something that you can have documented, all right? Documented, and then you can write down, okay, all right, I know I'm an Israelite. My line goes back all the way to King David. No, the records are lost, all right? The records are lost. So we know that we're Israelites through the Spirit, like it talks about in Romans the 8th chapter. All right, Romans 8 and 16. For the Spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit that we are the children of the Most High. That's how we know that that we're Israelites. That's how we know that the truth, all right, the King James version, the doctrine that was passed down from the elders and their elders, all right, the apostles, all right, it's the true doctrine. And that you got to believe on that doctrine all your heart. And you see these guys, they don't believe in the doctrine all their heart. That's why they let that doubt demon come into their mind. All right? When you study the characteristics of this guy, all right, he was never hanging out with bros. All right, he's never studying, never doing videos. All right, just a major slacker because he really didn't believe. All right, and it's going to be made evident that you actually got to really put in the work. You got to really put in the work if you're going to come and serve Yahweh B'Shem El Shai. Or, all right, like Revelation, the 3rd chapter says, he's going to spew you out. All right, because you're lukewarm. It says, now as Jannes and Jambres withstood Moses, so do these also resist the truth. Men of corrupt minds reprobate concerning the faith. And these guys are reprobate. You have a lot of reprobate spirits out there. Guys that just cannot get. They just can't get it. No matter what they do, the Spirit won't allow them to get it. All right? Because they wasn't chosen nor predestined from the beginning. All right, to understand this truth. The Most High, they were chosen to basically come up against the truth, all right, and resist it. Just like they resisted Yahweh Shai over 2,000 years ago. All right, they couldn't help it. It's the spirit that the Most High put on them. All right? All right, because you're gonna find out this is all about election. All right, everything that you do is all about election. The Most High, we're basically robots. All right, here in the Most High's movie, just like you play a movie Sims, or you play any type of like Empire game where you actually build up a civilization. All right, you might build houses over here. All right, you get soldiers for your army. All right, you deal different buildings. All right, and then you start structuring your economics. All right, some people die in war, some people die in health from health reasons. All right, and then what happens? The city gets modernized. All right, more technology, and you start updating your buildings. All right, we played the games before. It's the same thing that's happening right now. Okay, on a very, very large scale. All right, a scale that you can't even understand. All right, it says verse 9, but they shall proceed no further, for their folly shall be manifest unto all men, as theirs also was. And that's exactly what's happening, and that's exactly what's going to happen more and more. These guys that are bucking up, these guys that are scoffers and scorners, their folly is going to be made manifest into the people that they're scoffing, into all of Israel, all right, into the whole world. They're going to be made. The Most High is going to make an example out of them. That they were never chosen, that they were going off, that they were just set up to be a scoffer. All right. But they shall proceed no further, for their folly shall be manifest unto all men, as theirs also was. But thou hast fully known my doctrine, manner of life, purpose, faith, long suffering, charity, patience. All right, the doctrine that Paul's talking about. All right. He's talking about the doctrine of Yahweh Shai, which is the doctrine of Yahweh, his father, our father. which is the doctrine that the apostles of a great millstone are teaching, and the men of great millstone are teaching. All right, and anywhere else, you're gonna get a watered down version. Bottom line, that's just the way it is. All right. When the Lord set up the 12, when the Lord set up the 12 disciples, which later became the 12 apostles, they were the top men on earth when Yahushua went up to the Father. They were actually being taught with Yahushua daily for a space of 3 years. All right. So who do you have to go through, man? Did not Yahushua give David, which is the apostle Peter, the keys? You got to go through the apostle Peter. All right? And the doctrine that he was bringing. Persecutions, afflictions which came unto me at Antioch, Iconium, at Lystra, what persecutions I endured, but out of them all the Lord delivered me. And brothers suffer persecutions all the time, shipwrecks, all right, that we endure, and it's all because Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, he gave us that strength to endure. But evil men and seducers shall wax worse and worse, deceiving and being deceived. Because they're actually these scoffers and scorners. They actually believe in their scorning and their scoffing. And by them being so diligent in their scoffing and scorning, all right, they deceive others. But at the end, they're deceived also, man. So the Most High is killing two birds with one stone. He's getting the men that he doesn't want, the people that he doesn't want, the undesirables. All right, with a scoffer. He's going to condemn you by putting a spirit on a guy to bug out, and then you believe to bug out, man. And that's exactly what's happening right now. It's a lot madness around here, you know. All right. Let me go back to verse 12, because this is the point that I wanted to make. It says, yea, and all that will live godly in Yahushua Mashiach shall suffer persecutions. And that's exactly what's going to happen, man. Are you going to suffer persecutions if you believe in Yahweh Yahushai? If you believe in the doctrine, because the doctrine that we preach out there, all right, every Saturday, that's a doctrine that's totally against America, totally against this whole global system, totally against this new world order. So they're going to be coming for us. They're not going to be the so-called white man, and with Trump in there, man. They're going to really turn up things, man. They're going to we got to get these Israelites out of here. These guys that are not doing the work or scoffing and squirters, they don't worry about this. They think that they're safe. They think that everything is fine. They're not suffering persecutions. They're glorying in their wickedness, in their scoffing and scorning. But the men that sigh cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst of America, are in the midst around the whole world, where America's doctrine is pushed, is political and democracy and economics and financial system. All right, those are the men that Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai is dealing with. Those are the men that are going to suffer persecutions. Because when you come to the Lord, all right, be not strange that you're going to basically catch hell. When you come to serve the Lord, prepare thyself. I believe that's in the book of Baruch. Okay? So in these last days, we see that we're in the last days. There's all type of hell going on, man. All right? You got the Filipino president basically saying, screw America, I'm teaming up with Russia and China. You got the Syrian war over there, in Aleppo. You got the Russians flexing. Major tension in the Middle East. You got earthquakes in diverse places. All right, and then in the book of Timothy that I just read, it's in the last days, perilous times shall come, and that's exactly what's happening. Perilous times are here, and it's more and more perilous. All right, let me get that definition. Perilous. All right, it's Greek. All right, chalepos. It's hard to do, to take, to approach, hard to bear, troublesome, dangerous, harsh, fierce, savage. These are the times that are coming. Troublesome, dangerous, harsh, fierce, and savage times are coming. That's another way we know through the Spirit that we're in the last day, because this type of calamities have never happened in the world. And the men that are spiritual can see that it's only going to get worse. It's only going to get worse. All right, so with that, I hope I was edifying. I want to say shalom.